So there's Richard. He lived in the car for 2 years because there was no space on the bed. And he's explaining there that he's not going to live in the car anymore, but he's okay with living in the house that you can barely move in. So can you just pause it? Like pause it there for a second, or part that you see the house. And again, our purpose isn't to make fun of anyone or look down on anyone, but just imagine when you watch this, you think, like a cluttered house is the sign of a cluttered mind and heart. Like we have trouble putting things where they need to go. We have trouble acting immediately and taking care of something we assume we'll take care of it later. It's all about change. Like, how do we, rather than doing that, how do we act right away and actually take care of things? So again, shift from messy house to messy heart. Like what happens when my heart and mind and life get to be like that house, to where I'm putting up with this clutter constantly. And some of the clutter is just busyness, and some of it's really filth. This is, let's read this passage again, there in your notes. James 1:19. Know this, my beloved brothers and sisters. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, for the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness. Like, he's talking here about stuff that accumulates, anger that increases. You think you're going to fix it, but when you try to fix it out of anger, it actually makes it worse. That's why he says it doesn't work the righteousness of God. Like it doesn't actually fix it. So we need to change. That's the need of change. Secondly, let's talk about the seed of change. Like, how do we change? And if you look at this next section of the passage, verse 21, we receive with meekness. And the contrast there is between the anger he just talked about. Now he's talking about meekness, which is a refusal to take shortcuts. Like, I'm receiving with meekness. What am I receiving? The implanted word. That's where I get the idea of the seed of change. The word of God is being planted in my heart, and that is sprouting into change. Like, that's bringing about a transformed life. Let's look at this. Receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and at once forgets what he was like. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing. So there's three parts to this seed of change. It is, we receive, respond, repeat in this passage. So the seed of the word goes in, we receive, we respond, we repeat. What do we mean receive? He says, receive with meekness the implanted word. The word goes forth. Like today, we're talking about James. The word goes forth, comes into your heart. You receive it with meekness. You're not defensive. You're not distracted. You're not trying to say, well, I've heard that already. It's like, thank you.